What is going on, yo? We are back. This is the day of wipe, and as usual, I like to do a nice overview of the grow base that we come up with, because as much as I'd like to do, well, whenever you start off a design, like you go off of one design that you find online, or you can come up with one in Builder's Paradise or something. But you have to realize that you'll have to adapt to the actual server that you're on and that design. Depending on what area is available in Rust and how skilled and how toxic some of the people that you play with may be. So, um, this wasn't the first grow base on this server. The previous grow base was right across the water, and we kind of made it pretty big. I find out later that the actual design is based around taking heli tower, and I'm like, oh my gosh, people must have been thinking we're taking heli left and right, but it was just a grow based design that I tried developing, but turns out the top of it looks like a heli tower people build. Like you just make the whole top completely out of metal, and it's a good design to take heli with. Tried it a few times, and actually it was pretty good. Worked out pretty good, I should say. But yeah, I thought we would go ahead and run down how this design developed. My teammate actually started this design, and we decided to relocate a second base somewhere else just in case, because this did get raided a few times. So yeah, so let's start off at the beginning. This was not here up until kind of recently. So the beauty of being in the snow is that you're a little bit less likely to get raided because people really have to plan it out. I mean, people will raid you in the snow, like we found this out pretty quickly, but um, it, I would suggest trying out building in the snow for like at least one wipe or just like a week, because it's cool to adapt to the weather that you're around. But this is what the base looks like on the outside from a little bit away. And yeah, let's go ahead and get a little bit closer. As you can see, started off, made it a bit harder for people to come up this iceberg to get inside. People will find a way to get in if they really want to. Um, I think people have tried laddering up the side there, but then once they get up there, they really have to go up against the turrets that we have up here. But as you can see, just go through this door here. Come up, come through this door. I was surprised that it let me put this high wooden gate here, but it's really cool. Got a few furnaces. There's one, two, three furnaces we're able to fit on this size of iceberg, I guess it would be. Um, and let's get to this part. We got ourselves an auto turret guarding. If anybody comes up that way, they will be blasted. And right here we got ourselves one, two, three large planter boxes. Another two small, but I was focusing at the tail end of wipe here on these three in this area. Got some potatoes, got some berry plants, got some corn. All very important factors in how your wipe could go. Because sometimes it's really hard to come by food, especially out here in the snow. And in this area, we got some more berries. I gotta actually harvest these in a bit. Lots of berries. Got some blueberries, got some yellow berries, got some white berries, and we got some red berries. We got heaters as well for this area, light. And you might have spotted it back here. We also have a compost right here. And for some reason, there'd be a lot of horses that would spawn on a beach nearby. And since, well, prior to this coming update in like an hour, we weren't able to ride horses, so we would down a couple horses, and whenever you harvest horses, they'll give you horse dung, and that seems to be one of the best ways to collect fertilizer. Um, there was like 389 or something whenever I first put the fertilizer in these boxes like a couple hours ago. But this is how these are doing. You can see it needs a little bit of water right now because over the course of time, depending on what kind of plant it is, it takes a certain amount of milliliters per hour. Like you can see the water intake on this potato is 4 milliliters per hour, and each large planter box can hold up to 9,000 milliliters of water. So slowly it will drain that over the course of time, so it's best to fill up the large planter boxes with water prior to planting, and they'll sprout up like within an hour or two. Got some water storage back here. And we will work our way up. This is what the setup looks like. These are connected to the water storage right here. And these two will send the water from one of those storage tanks up to the second level, which is pretty much this mirrored one level up. Yeah. And I found out, my teammate came up with a great idea. It's like, well, I was trying to do the whole get ocean water, get some salt water from over here, send it through a purifier, and then send it to the water tank. But they're like, oh yeah, our other base is kind of next to a fresh water source. Why don't you just come fill up tons of jugs with fresh water? You don't have to do all that. I'm like, I don't know why I didn't think about that. So that has been what I've been doing, just running over to a fresh water source and filling up like, I don't know, 10 plus of these water jugs, and then just taking them to the water containers. And that's been a lot quicker, a little bit easier. If anybody's just now getting into berry growing, crop growing in general, I would suggest situating your grow base near a fresh water source because the process of purifying ocean water can be kind of strenuous, I guess, a little bit, but you know. So I have an extra, I'm going to move into here a little bit. I put an extra workbench level 1 and workbench level 2 out here since going inside after adapting to raids and making it harder for people to get to TC, it does take a while to get inside into where the other workbench is. So in order to expand the grow base a bit quicker, I just put a workbench level 1 and 2 right out here. And then I have I have all this building equipment underneath of the workbench, so I don't have to run inside, get all of this stuff. As you can see, there's a few things like metal frags. You can use those to make sprinklers really quick, which requires workbench level 1. And if I want to make another windmill, like you can see up there on the top, or a large battery, I can do it right here because I have workbench level 2. And we got extra storage here, extra storage in here, and we'll work our way up. This was a feature that I thought was really helpful since these furnaces, actually, yeah, there's a fourth furnace down here. the beauty of these large furnaces is that obviously they burn a lot more material. Albeit they don't give as much charcoal if you're trying to make boom. But having them right here, I can run in the smelted sulfur metal and I can just put it right in here, drop box it in to the base, and then whenever I go back inside, I can just pull that out, put it into TC, use it for what have you, like metaling walls, you know. And over here is the other grow area. Right now there is some hemp used to make cloth, clothing, really anything you need. As you can see, the cloth yield right now is, looks like it's going up to around 40, 30 to 40 for each plant. And we can do the harvesting here in a sec, but I will give y'all a full tour. So, originally the front door was a garage door down, it's down here. It was behind where this drop box is. You would just come up here, up the stairs to where this was, and there's a garage door. Technically it was the front door. But after getting raided a few times, you have to adapt the base. So, once we regain control after one of these raids, this is now the front door. Come in here. This door is permanently open because, as you can see, this is the door that the person that raided put on the base. A little bit more extra storage. Water purifier. There's a computer station for 2 cameras outside of the base, situated on either side if I just want to check in, if just in case somebody's raiding or what have you, and it's also connected to our other base not too far away from here. So if my teammates are off, since some of them are in a different time zone, I can, if I'm over here working on something, I can check in on their base, and that's actually really helped. A couple days ago, I was over here updating the grow base, and I checked in on the one camera they have over there. You just have to get the proper code that you assign to that camera and just add it to your computer station. And I saw that one of the high stone walls was missing. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's not supposed to be happening. Went to go over and checked, and somebody was raiding. We eventually regained control, and we are back in business over there. Got some more storage in here. And you'll if you've seen the stream from a couple days ago, which is all posted on Twitch and it will be on YouTube, our ally on this server gave us access to the person that raided our other base. I told our ally that they raided our base, and they went and raided their base, and there were so many weapons just sprung about. It took like 2 trips to get all of these weapons over, but we got a lot of stuff. Got all of these weapons, lots of scopes, lots of MP5s, a lot of armor, a couple of mixing tables, a lot of MP5s, and just a lot of armor. It's just really cool. This door I do not have access to. This is one of the ones that they slapped down whenever they raided, so, you know, we adapt. Alright, once you come in through this main door, you can come down here. This garage door was originally the front door, and this is where you access the drop box. Doesn't currently have anything in it, but that's because I picked up all of the metal that I just recently smelted. Here's the fridge. I just planted all of our seeds, so that's why there's not a lot of, not a lot of them in right now. But we'll go harvest those in a sec. Extra storage, extra storage. Workbench 2 right here. If I need to make something in here. It's close to TC where there is some materials you can draw from. Extra furnaces, lots of shotgun traps. TC. And yeah, I've got a mixing table over here, a couple large batteries, a hop-up furnace. This is originally where the furnace was. I mean, this is originally where the TC was until we got raided like a couple days ago. Then I relocated it into an area that I noticed that they didn't get access to. So we made it go a bit deeper. Let's check up here. And this is a bit more storage for more large batteries that are being used for the whole grow base electricity that we need for lights, fluid switching pumps, heaters, that kind of stuff. And purifiers. Our comp box. Another comp box there. And this is being guarded by a garage door, which also seals this hop up here. And yeah, let's seal it up. If we're ever going on a room, usually this is the process I would do. I'll close this. Ooh, I hear an airdrop. Close that door, close that door, close that door, and here's where the other water purifier is. You can just look out here. This is kind of a nice little area. There was a chain link fence right here, which was right next to where the front door was, and this is where an auto turret would sit, and there would be a chain link fence right here. But I just blew that up with a satchel charge and put in this metal shop front so that it'd be harder for somebody to get into this area. Yeah, I thought that was actually pretty cool because you can come in here if somebody is trying to raid and you can look out to see where they're at. Drop box there. And we'll close up this water purification area. Yeah, like I said, this is usually the goal that I usually go after whenever we are working on our trio bases, or our trio server. I usually like to do a grow base, try a different design, see what works, see what doesn't. And this was one of those that just adapted off of a regular base. It's very possible to make a grow base. If you're willing to go get water from somewhere else, I would suggest doing it at a freshwater river instead of those like pump areas that certainly can do that, but it takes a while and it eats up a lot of your calories pumping those fresh water sources. They'll pop up on your map. They'll look like something like this right here. It looks like a little circular area. I'm trying to find another one. Something like that. That's where a pump would be, where you can get fresh water. But what I would suggest is to look on your map for a fresh water source. There'll be more of a boulder line looking like this right here. You see my teammates over here. There'll be a boulder line looking like this. Where else? Right here. Nice fresh water source. Sometimes it's easy to build on them, sometimes it's not, depending on the incline of the hill. Sometimes they're on a hill, so you have to kind of adapt. A lot of shotgun traps. I've been pointed out all of them, but they're also a great security system. And let's harvest all of our crops. Let's see what we come up with. All of these are fully grown. And as you can see, there is a heater back here. I'll just turn that off. Let's harvest them. From that one, we got 324 cloth just from that large planter box alone. And another 368, so in total that is 692 cloth. So if you're willing to put in the investment of making a couple planter boxes, it doesn't have to be a grow base. You could just have one planter box that you dedicate for cloth growth. And it comes in handy making meds, clothes, you name it. Bandages. And let's go see how many berries we can pick off of here. As we are pretty close to wipe, I'm just going to harvest all of these. You can also clone them. That's what we usually do to get the most amount of berries. We'll clone a couple of each color. We usually go for yellow, white, red, and blue. Green is for radiation protection whenever you make a tea, but we usually just go for those other ones for scrap teas, wood teas, and ore teas. Let's harvest these and see what we get. Nice. And then you can use the plant fibers that are left over in your inventory for compost. So from this, we got 22 yellow berries, 12 white, 12 red. And yeah. You'll also get a few grubs or worms, and you can throw that in with your compost, and that will actually speed up the process of making fertilizer. Let's go in here and get the rest of these and see what our grand total of berries is. Some potatoes. And I would suggest finding potatoes in the wild and planting those because they are a great source of calories. You'll get, I think it's 100? Let's harvest this. It is 125 calories whenever you eat them. And it doesn't give you a whole lot of hydration, but it gives you probably the most amount of calories, so I would highly suggest it. There was 14 there. Let me just harvest all of these. So we got a grand total of, I guess it would, 60 potatoes. Our inventory's already full. No, it's actually 20, 40, 60, 80, 100 potatoes. That could feed you and your team for at least a couple weeks. Easily. That in conjunction with growing corn is probably one of the best food sources. I like pumpkins and potatoes because pumpkins give you a lot of hydration. But if you can't find any pumpkins near you, corn will do just fine. Yeah, I'm already out of space, so let me run inside and throw these in the fridge. lost in my own base. And if you are excited to see what grow base that we are doing next, stay tuned because today is wipe. So you'll see just how the process goes with how we begin a wipe and how we develop into something such as this. Because it gets pretty interesting at times. Especially the days of wipe. Like the first days of wipe. Because you gotta find a plot and defend it, make your base as fortified as possible. And it gets pretty interesting. Fighting off like 3 people whenever you and your teammate make a 2x1 next to the water. Which me and my teammate did a couple, it was like 2 wipes ago, defending a 2x1 while 3 people are trying to get into your base to get the only few things that you got like an hour ago because they don't want to go through the process of getting it themselves. It's ridiculous. Alright, let's go with the last of this corn. I think that's floor down. And that is another 60 corn. Let's see how many calories. In theory, I'm already full at the moment, but it will give you 75 calories and it will give you 10 hydration, which is actually a pretty good stat. And let's throw in the plant fiber. Cool. And let's go ahead and throw these in the refrigerator. Cool. And now, just from one harvest, we are stocked up on food for a couple of weeks, up until, you could even span this out, depending on how many people are in your team, of course. But this is a pretty sustainable way of keeping food on you. As you can see, pumpkins are great because they give you 100 calories and they also give you 30 hydration, which is actually very helpful. Yeah. Alright, let's close it up because we are wiping here soon enough and want to do a few things with my teammates beforehand. So, thank you guys for tuning in. We will be going live here soon for wipe, so stay tuned for that. It has been a pleasure streaming for you guys during this, I guess it would be, yeah. It would be the August wipe, so this will be September's wipe. Yeah. Okay. Quickly show you guys what it looks like on the roof as well. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 windmills. We got a bed to spawn up here just in case you're getting raided. Come up here. And an extra auto turret to defend if somebody tries to get up on the roof and blow through go top down. Originally, this was one of the ways we get in, but somebody that raided put this garage door here. This was originally where we had a computer station, but we realized it wouldn't make sense. Like if we're getting raided and we gotta see where they're at, to just hop up on the roof, it'd be kind of not very safe, so yeah. We got, also there is a shotgun trap behind here. You might be able to see it if I zoom in. You can kind of see it right there. There it is, yeah. The blue tape of the shotgun trap. This is very good. It's something I learned kind of recently, is that shotgun traps can shoot through twig. So it's good to utilize this if you can put them behind, say, a half wall in the situation of twig. Nobody be able to see it. You just gotta replace that twig after it's been shot through, but it pretty much covers it up, and it's a great way to make a little bit of a security measure there. And last thing I want to show y'all before I skedaddle before wipe is this. Something that we also had to adapt to at this grow base was people would show up on boats and come over here, make a high wooden wall and just defend from down here at these icebergs. So a way that we adapted to that was putting a couple of auto turrets down here. So if anybody pulls up over along here, these would take care of them. And to get inside and upkeep, come in here behind these chain link fences, and upkeep these. Got a couple of custom SMGs in there, and they defend perfectly. And funny enough, whenever the day after we got raided recently, the person that raided us came back to actually depot some sulfur. They had an inventory full of sulfur ore. It was like their entire inventory was stacks, like 1,000 sulfur ore the whole way from top to bottom. They came back to depot, or I guess used the furnaces, thinking that we didn't retake control of the base. Came back, and they got hit by that shotgun trap that is located up there in front of the front door right there. They got hit once, and then one of these auto turrets actually got them right around there, and I went out, checked their body, found all of that sulfur, and we made so much boom. We went around raiding, and it was one heck of a time. There is one more thing I kind of want to show y'all as well before wipe occurs. We'll be back to stream wipe here in a minute, so stay tuned. This was a new kind of base design that we've been kind of developing, and it is a boat base. Kind of just spitballed it and just kind of guessed how they were made. But let's run over there real quick, and then yeah. So it'd be a great way to, if you guys want to base any of your bases, grow bases or boat bases off of these, by all means. This is the first time me making a boat base with my teammates, so we all kind of contributed to the design of this boat base. So yeah, it worked for us, except for one little thing, so you'll have to stay tuned to figure out what that is. We did find a way to work around it, so let me run over here to the boat base real quick. Yo, what's up, Quinn? Thanks for tuning in. Hope your day is going alright. And here coming up is that boat base. It is a 3x3, I want to say, something like that, I'm pretty sure. We'll confirm here in a sec. Has stairs coming up here. Open that up. So it would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 4x5 base. And then we have these two doors on the sides here to access the rib that we got. Windows to kind of see what's going on. It's a little aesthetic sort of too. Workbench 1 to add things that require Workbench 1 if we needed to. TC and storage. And this is how you access it. You can close that off. And we kind of had to finagle this on how to make it more secure, and we tried out using high wooden walls. Could probably do this with high stone walls, but something that we did run into. Let me just try and open it so I can show y'all. Whenever you're ready to go take oil, go boat around wherever. Pretty much mount this. I don't know if I have any. Let's see if there's any fuel. Yeah, we don't have any fuel in it right now, but just imagine you like back up. The only thing that was it didn't completely like destroy the idea of the boat base. It's actually since the high wooden gate is so far out, it made it drop down a little bit. And whenever you back the boat out, it actually stabs your head a little bit because there is barbed wire up there. So you just gotta like gun it back as fast as you can. I mean, if you bring meds with you, it doesn't really matter. You can just med yourself up immediately afterwards, but it worked for what it was. There's two high wooden walls to the left and right, kind of tapered in. And then you just kind of adjust. You start with one high wooden wall, put the gate up, and then you fill it in with another high wooden wall. So, yeah. So let me close that up. And yeah, that is the boat base design. Probably be trying another boat base design here coming up on Wipe, or since we're being introduced to horses, we will be trying out a grow base, a boat base, or even a horse base. So a stable. Yeah. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. We'll be streaming some Wipe here soon enough. I'm also on YouTube at Cosmosis Moans Gaming. Also on Twitter at Cosmosis Moans. Instagram at Cosmosis Moans. And I'm also, my Discord is in my bio, so check me out there. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you guys after Wipe. And take it easy.